Good morning, group. I'm back with my scent of the day, and I'm actually doing it in the afternoon now, and I'll probably be doing that because I'm doing Gallagher fragrances. Today I'm doing Gallagher Rosé All Day. But before I start this, I wanted to do some housekeeping, so maybe a little longer. As you know, yesterday I told everybody that I got out of a bunch of groups, and I stayed with 3 groups. And on those 3 groups, I posted today. And basically what I'm going to do on those 3 fragrance groups, that's where I'm going to post my photo scent of the day and a little story about what I have. But this video one is only going to go to the Pop Fritz group. And that's just so everybody doesn't, not everybody wants to see my videos. Some people just want to see a photo, and most people don't want to see me at all, either photo or video, trust me. So there's a lot of people in them groups, and I'm sort of like pushing myself out there, and that's not good. That's not the purpose. That's not what this is about. So, basically I form that group, and if people want to join, they want to follow these videos, that's fine. These videos are for my grandkids, as we all know, but I do like people that like fragrances like me, and you can watch them, and I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with the people that comment on them. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is, I'm a little bit about my journey. You do know it. 2 years ago is when I started actually wearing fragrances. I had some before that, but I never really wore them. And now I feel like I'm far enough along that I could start experimenting with stuff. So, and I'm actually looking at, independent niche houses, small groups, small perfumers. So, I did Happy Land last month, and I ordered this from this group from Gallagher Fragrances. And a little bit about wearing this hat. If you don't know about Daniel Gallagher, he is in the Air Force, and this is just a hobby to him. And, now it's a business to him, separate from serving our country. So that's one reason I was real excited about Gallagher Fragrances, because I am an Air Force vet. But secondly, I dabble in a little ancestry and genealogy, and I happen to be a grandchild of two Gallagher great grandparents. So we have that in common. So of course I had to try this, and that's where we're at today with these. But that being said, these are all, I think most of these are EDP concentrations, and a lot of them are gourmands. And as people know, I have a little tough time with sweeter fragrances, candy fragrances I've mentioned, or sweeter fruits. And I'm also challenged by roses somehow. Which leads us to today. Today I'm doing Rosé All Day, and I was a little concerned, when I sprayed it on. Yesterday I did Intense Cafe by Montel, and that, to me, I think one of the members of another group, Valerie, I don't know if she's on this group, she mentioned that should be called Intense Rose, and she's right. It was rose all day. And that's what I expect in this. And I was pleasantly surprised, even though I do smell rose, and I do get it really good. This isn't rose all day, and it wasn't as gourmandy as other reviewers have made it seem to me. This at first, initially, first 5 minutes, it was a little harsh, and I think that was just the alcohol and maybe the initial sprays. I really didn't prime the pump or anything, so there was something that had to wear off on that. I'm hoping that won't be there the next time. But within 5 minutes, I really started to like this fragrance, and now I've had it on for 3 hours, and I love this fragrance. And even then, I gave it a 7, and for me, this is a 9 easily, especially because it is a rose that I can actually wear. And I'm not sure what does that or why that is. It's a special type of rose. It's a Turkish rose, so I looked that up. And some people describe that as like a dewy rose, a more wet rose with like a black plum sort of smell to it. And what's interesting is the plum. There is a plum on the top there. But what the whole top is it says apple crisp, and it says apple crisp, and then it says honey, brown sugar, plum. And you would, if you ever cooked, I mentioned this in another video, like fragrances are like cooking to me. And if you ever made an apple crisp, the topping on that is oats and brown sugar and cinnamon. And you could probably use honey in there too, something to sweeten it up. So I think all that, when they call it, they don't just say apples, they say apple crisp. And then they say honey, and then they say that brown sugar with a plum in there. And I didn't get the plum part, but maybe the plum is going with that rose now, on the top. So, and I do get that. You could pick up a little of that apple crisp coming through it. This would be a great fragrance for a holiday, I think, because it does have that little bit of apple crisp. But so it's not that sweet or anything. It's really nice. When I first got it, I thought I smelled cinnamon more, and I thought that was what I liked about it. And cinnamon would be part of an apple crisp, but it's not in the notes here. But I think it's there. And the other thing I think is what's helping this is having that Turkish rose with patchouli as the next note in the middle, and I think that gives it gives it a little earthiness and brings it down more. I think I don't get me. I'm not an expert. I'm not a reviewer. I don't have a clue about all this stuff. I'm just saying what I feel. But I do think maybe that's why I like this one, because it's with the patchouli and the vanilla, and it's a Turkish rose. But for some reason, this rose is one I actually like. I could see others saying, "Oh, it's like a grandma fragrance," and don't get mad at me saying that. I'm a grandpa, and I know what they mean. A grandpa fragrance or a grandma fragrance, and maybe some people do associate this type of rose, more with a person more senior years, and that's fine. I could see people saying that, and it might be true, but I don't associate it. I'm wearing it. I'm not a grandma, I'm a grandpa, but I actually like it. And the other thing with rose is, it's not. I don't really follow those rules about, gender or season and all that. I mean, a little bit I do. I do know the cold weather fragrances versus hot weather, but the gender part I don't really follow that as much, because I think when they make something and they market it as women's, they're usually trying to attract men, and men like how it smells on a woman. So I like it how it smells, which that's why I've got so many fragrances. So naturally, I would like something like this. But I wouldn't like this if it was real strong rose. I wouldn't like it on my wife, Miss Floss, if it was different. But in this situation, I actually like this smell, and it smells really good. And I don't know if that's because of my age. I don't think so. I actually think it's tamed down, and I think this could fit any age. And it's a really good composition. So that's where we're at with today's Scent of the Day. And I do want to thank everybody that did, I had quite a few that asked to join the group. So I guess, you do want to watch the videos. And that is the reason I did go down on how many groups I follow and how many groups I was putting this on, the video part. I don't want to intrude on people, and I don't want to act like I'm promoting this, because what I say is what I really believe. I am not a reviewer. I don't want people to follow me. I don't want people to buy something because, I give it an 8 or a 9. That's, my mom would say, rest her soul, she would say, if he jumped off a bridge, would you jump off the bridge, Bob? So that's my saying to you. He likes it. That doesn't mean you're going to like it, I say that to my grandkids. I put it in a different manner. I say, don't follow the herd. The herd always goes over the cliff. And, I learned that from a lot of cartoons, watching for a lot of years. So, just because I think something's good doesn't mean you'll think it's good. And you should always sample stuff and put it in your own skin and have your own individuality. The clothes I wear, you may not like to wear. The clothes you wear, I may not like to wear. And that's the beauty of this world. We're a diverse world. And that's the way it was intended to be. We were intended to be a bunch of diverse individuals who learn to live and work together. So with that, please pray for peace in the world, because it is one world that we all share. And then try to be kind to that next person. I always have to say that just to remind myself that, when I meet somebody today, I should see them as an individual and try to be kind to them. And because we need kindness in this world. So with that, thank you for following along, and I'll see you tomorrow with whatever Gallagher fragrance I wear. Have a nice day. Bye.